Can you hear me very well?
Yeah, very well.
Can you
Welcome.
hear me?
Yes, sir. Very well. Go
It's
ahead, sir.
all right. Thank you so much. So I'm using this
Yeah.
very opportunity to welcome, yeah, I'm welcoming everyone to this interesting version of our discussion. Today, in continuation with what we started last week, we'll be deliberating on the Wells Protocol in TB. So many people are still at loss in that very topic, but as you pay attention and listen carefully to what we'll be analyzing here, I believe strongly that the Kringle developer, aka the simple consultant, our latest ambassador in Nigeria, is going to do a whole justice to it. So all you need to do is just to pay rapt attention. Madam Flourish is unavoidably absent for today's episode, but never mind, she will show up in the next one. So I just want to invite all of you to please pay attention as we go ahead doing what we know how to do best. So let's welcome Austin himself, because this guy is one that has too many names. Whatever you call him, in fact, he always fall into place. Mr. Austin, the Kringle developer and our latest ambassador in Kringle community in Nigeria. We have your ears.
It's all good. It's all good. Thank you very much. You
Yeah.
you just flattered me, honestly speaking. Anyway, thank you very much for introducing me, and
Hello, sir.
greetings out. And it's a pleasure having you
I was trying
in
to say that
today's
this
broadcast.
transaction I'm seeing here, yeah,
Sir, I think
it
you
could
may need
have
to
been the
mute
transaction
yourself.
that I carried out
Sir, you
when
may
I
need to
was
mute yourself.
on BNB. I was swapping.
Okay. Sorry about that interruption. So sorry. All right. So moving forward, like my host has actually said, my name is Augustine, and I happen to be the most recently appointed ambassador for Nigeria. And today our title is Wales Protocol. Now we began this Wales Protocol last week, and we were actually using Madame Flourish's channel, but she was overtaken by a whole lot of activities. She could not continue her Wales protocol on her channel. We had to move over to this channel. And there is a whole lot we are going to discuss today, but we are going to be as brief as possible. So for the next about few minutes, I would appreciate if you can stay with me. Let's talk about Wales protocol and what you stand to benefit in the Cringle Private Society if you happen to be among the whales in this our community. Now, before we continue, I would like to share my screen, and then explain a few things. And then going forward, we can look at other things. So before I do that, let me quickly share my screen. All right, my screen is now being shared, and I'm going to be addressing comments after today's meeting. Now, before April, I was number 22, but as I speak to you, I'm now number 27. Now, the reason this is so is because of the competition now going on in the Kringle Private Society. And that competition has its purpose. The competition is separating the wheat from the chaff. And in this Kringle Private Society, the system is building from cradle, and it is building to a point where the financial system will not be able to sustain us anymore. And then we move into a system that is purely private. And a system that is purely private means that it is going to be solely on these three cryptocurrencies. The first one is going to be on our K-Love. The second one is going to be on a kind of banking system that is backed up by gold. But this banking system of course, anything that has to do with storing your money is actually a kind of bank. So we have a private banking system. We are setting it up from scratch. And I'm going to talk about it today because it's also part of the Wales protocol that I'm going to discuss about. And then finally, the last transition is going to be a system backed up by gold, but is purely private, which you and I do not own, but is actually owned by the Kringle Private Society, which is immune to the taxes of the government. And the goal of the Kringle Private Society is to ensure that we return the power back to the people and we don't in any way control the affairs of human beings. Human beings should have what they call sovereignty, have freedom to express their minds, their selves, and do whatsoever they like. So the competition that is going on now is actually building to see who are the strong members in the community. And this competition is not limited to geographical location. Wherever you are across the world, you can take part in this competition because as long as you have access to the internet, you can explore and do a whole lot of things. So I welcome you to come into this community and help us to build because the only way we can be free from the control of the elites or from the matrix is to have a private controlled system that is actually built on transparency, love, and respect. So, on that note, let's move forward. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about, I'm supposed to talk about the core team, but it looks like it's not loading very well. Let's try it out again. Now, while it's loading, big surprises. And this was the very first instance that the administration talked about sometime, I think last year or so. Now, there is something I want to discuss, and I'm going to allow you to take time and study it very, very well. And it has to do with this particular one. Now, I'll ask some questions. I am not going to give the answer to the questions. I just want you to muse on it, think through it very well, and then come up with your answers. Now, the administration said a whole lot, but this one was very, very catchy. Now, he said Bitcoin bounties will change to Binance bounties. Of course, it's now Binance bounty because it's a transition. Now, everyone will be expected to set up a MetaMask wallet and get some BNB. He has also modified it so that it wouldn't do just one way out. There are two alternatives, which you are going to see shortly: MetaMask and Trust Wallets. Whichever way, you can use it to make your subscription fee payments and you can connect it to your Bitcoin Binance bounty and then withdraw it as Binance. And then whenever you want to pay subscription fee, you can convert it to KLove. Okay? Now, the new token will be about 1,111,111,111 total tokens. No pre-sale of these tokens are needed. The purpose of this token is to support the Kringle goodwill efforts and provide a way for the TBC community to collect needed fundings as members buy this token and send it for payment. Just as members have done for years with Bitcoin, this token will not be looking for investors. This token, which token is the administration referring to? KLove. KLove is not looking for investors. Now, the question is, why is KLove not looking for investors? The reason is because the system is set up to make sure that we don't only win from the private point of view, but we also win from the public point of view. Why am I saying that? The administration has preserved 1 billion coins for those that are in the community, and the others is about 10% for every other person who are in the public domain that wants to take part. And he did that for a reason. It will be impossible to crash the value of our coins. And in our last edition, I talked about part one of Wales protocol, where as a whale in the community who happen to have a minimum of at least 1,000 coins, because that is the basic requirement to qualify to have an equal match. Now, so many people do not know yet, but in time it will be clear that the qualifications to get an equal match is that your wallet should have at least 1,000 TBC coins. And if you come in late, you may not qualify. And I don't know if the administration will accommodate new people to qualify to get that. But then, one thing is certain, he has put it in stone that those who qualify should have at least 1,000 coins, and the others should wait until he has been able to prove a point. And that point is a transition into a gold backed financial system. Now, when people understand the validity of what the administration wants to do by offering merchants an opportunity to exchange their goods and services with a gold backed system, then that transition into a world out of the control of the elite will begin. Let me continue. Now, but instead, it will be looking for outside contributors. Who are contributors? Contributors are us, who are core team members that will continue to grow the TBC community. I am calling core team members because those are going to be the heartbeats of the TBC community. I'm going to explain further on this shortly. Now, the goodwill projects to come. So it will be looking for outside contributors towards the goodwill projects. And so far, so good. We've handled about 3 different goodwill projects. One of it is I think Ivory Coast. Then the other one is India. Now, so the third one is Bangladesh, which should happen about the 15th. Then on the 30th, it's going to be Cameroon. And on the 21st of next month, it's going to be Nigeria. And we are really doing a good work towards achieving that. And very soon, you're going to hear more about it from Facebook, my YouTube channel, and what have you. So that is the concept of the goodwill. Now, this is a very sensitive statement. Regulators will have a hard time attacking a goodwill token. Sometimes I do ask myself that will our K-Love coin be in the coin market cap? Now, the truth is that K-Love is actually in the market. Sometimes I do deliberate on it that if this coin finally finds itself in the coin market cap, don't you think that it will be subject to the control of the elites? Because as long as you and I are concerned, the first 5 coins or possibly the first 10 coins in the market, in the coin market cap, are controlled by the elites. The elites set up that system so that no matter what it is, they have the lion's share and they regulate, manipulate the system to their own, benefits, to their own profits. So I do ask myself that will K-Love really be in the coin market cap? It's actually a question. And sorry, give me a few minutes. I'll be back shortly. Just give me about a minute, please. Thank you.
It's all right. Let's give him some time while he quickly round up for some other issues to come up later.
All right. So I'm so sorry about that. I hope you hear me very clear, right? Hello.
5.5.
Oh, beautiful. So I was.
Okay.
It appears that the curtain does not want to come up. Okay, so I was here, and then I was talking about regulators will have a hard time attacking a goodwill token. And I was talking about um, whether our K-Love will really be in the coin market cap. But now I'm just thinking out loud, okay? And it's something that you and I should think deeply about, because when you look at the coin market cap, why is it that Bitcoin is known as the gold and that no one can cash out except through Bitcoin? Why is it that Ethereum is known as the silver and that every other system must work under Ethereum blockchain? Have you also noticed that the charges that Ethereum blockchain gives are so high? Have you also noticed that the third one is USD Theta? Have you noticed the trend? Have you seen the fourth one, Binance? Now that's a system to make sure that whatever you do, they are under your control. Now, if K-Love enters the market, then that means when K-Love starts building its momentum and it's now building to a point and the elites discover that there is a coin that is threatening their system, what do you think will happen? It may be an open war, because anything that is not under the influence of the elites, they may fight it. Now, I'm just thinking out loud. Now, have you considered the situation where we don't need to struggle with the elites? We just remain under pancake swap, and then we continue to build ourselves under that system, gain our momentum. And because we are a community-based system, we don't need to struggle with them. They will notice it. Institutions will notice the nature of our coin. Institutions will notice how K-Love is operating. Institutions like Binance, institutions like Remitano and other foreign organizations. And because of it has a kind of steadfast growth, they may want to join and adopt it into their system. And then miners will begin to use it for one thing or the other. But the truth is, the lion's share will remain with members of the Kringle Private Society, which are part of the K-Love, which are part of the whales. So I'm thinking out loud, and I want you to reason from the same direction with me. The administration doesn't sit down and write whatsoever. He writes some things that are called esoteric. Regulators will have a hard time attacking a goodwill token. It means a lot. So think along that line with me. Okay? So a time will come, we could get to 11,000 people using K-Love to pay. I want you to understand that the people who will be using K-Love to make subscription fee are the core team members and the backup core team members. Those are the only people that will be using K-Love to pay subscription fee. The others can use grains of gold to pay. You do not necessarily need to pay with K-Love. However, there is a system. As at now I speak to you, the administration is very close to buying grains of gold if he has not already started. He is very close to buying grains of gold. From the last time I checked, he said he will begin this month to buy grains, not grains of gold, sorry, buy gold. And when you buy gold under a private jurisdiction, it is immune from the taxation of the government. So when the umbrella of the Kringle Society is with gold, the government can't infringe because the policies are put out there to no further check public notice. So it is actually a system that is like the old banking system. In the old banking system, the bank cannot, sorry about that. In the old banking system, which is the one that was backed up by gold, before the gold banking system was removed by Richard Nixon, a bank cannot give out a certain amount of paper money that is more than the amount of gold that is stored in their gold reserve. That's how the system operates. They had a check and balance kind of system. And the administration is doing a very good job on investigating how that system operates. He wants to reinvent that system using our own coin, which is a coin that is going to be, associate or relate with grains of gold. He's going to call it a name, and it is going to be very, very sweet when that coin comes up. So beware of that. Now, let me move forward. I've talked about two things. And I don't know why core team is not loading. Hold on, let me check something. Give me a while. Let me check my settings and then Try it out again. Okay, so I'm moving over, and we've already talked about this one, and it's no more news in the community. So those of us who has not looked at it, please do well to look at it. Now, I want to use just about a minute to say something. Nigeria is one of the biggest country. I mean, among those in the community, Nigeria has the highest, one of the highest, in fact, the highest number. And you see, I've said this before, but I'm saying it again, that even though I may be an excellent leader, a leader is nothing without submissive or faithful followers. So no matter how good I may be about the system, if individuals decide not to cooperate with me, then my leadership is as good as nothing. So once again, I am craving your indulgence to work with me in love and respect. I am going to be as transparent as I can, and everything I'm going to do is going to be something that will deal on the precepts and protocols set up by the Krengo Private Society. I will never do anything outside of what the community has said I should do. Okay? So I am asking that you work with me in love and respect. Okay? So, on that said, moving forward, um, this is the most recent update about K-Love. You can now make payments with K-Love. So those of us who have not read, do well to read. Now, the final thing I'm going to talk about before I move forward or before I conclude is about, pardon me, the environment is getting dark because uh, Nigeria is wonderful. We scarcely do have lights, and we are working on fuel, if you understand what I mean. So, in a short while, I don't want the environment to be dark so that everyone will see my face. Okay. So, where was I? Now, moving forward, I was talking about this. Let me quickly move over here. Now, let me scroll down. Let me scroll down to this place. Yes. Let me scroll down to this place. Brother Michi, I hope you hear me very clear, sir. Hello? Hello, Brother Michi. Are you hearing me? Hello? I need someone to give me feedback. Okay, it looks like Brother Michi is not disposed. But now, moving forward, you see, this particular instance is going to soon start playing out. And I want us to be aware of what is going to happen. Because the last time I checked, the mass adoption team, sorry, the core team, were made up of about 9,000 plus. It's just unfortunate that the thing is not going well. We had about 9,000 plus. So, in order not to beat about the bush, in this month of April, we are likely going to fill out the core team because we have about 30 days to go. So, in 30 days from now, the core team will get to about 10,500. And most likely before May, it will get filled out. Now, the protocol is as soon as the core team is filled out, the administration starts working on the backup team. And I said that in my previous broadcast. And as soon as we've gotten to a certain number, which is around 1,000, then he now moves over to the next agenda while still filling out the core team, backup team, sorry. He begins what you call the merchant adoption. So it will be two wheels that will be rolling upon each other. The first wheel that will be rolling is what? Filling out the backup team. The second wheel that will be rolling is the merchant adoption team. Now, that merchant adoption is not just going to be merchant adoption. He would have set up a very good system, and the system will be very clear that we going out there to invite merchants will make them understand that we can offer them a system that is sustainable over time. And then that system is actually backed up by gold. And all these things, you are going to witness it happen. As soon as the core team is filled out, hear this information I want to give out. As soon as the core team is filled out, this will kick into action for the new members. As soon as the core team is filled out, the moment we have 11,111 members on the core team, this will kick off automatically. That is to say, the administration will set up a new distribution plan. And that distribution plan he's going to set up will be a very wonderful distribution plan. And it's going to have a whole lot. He's going to talk about it in the mass adoption meeting. I don't want to go into too much details. But one thing is sure, new members that will be coming in from the moment we filled out the core team, you have an obligation to continue paying your subscription fee forever. He's going to make it live. He's going to put it there, just like he put it out here, that the billionaire and millionaire is a lifetime stewardship. Now, he's going to create a kind of, just like he did the send button test, so that whoever will be coming in will understand that you have to pay the price. Because to become a billionaire in the community is not going to come on a platter of gold. Okay? So there must be constant commitments for a system to raise above the control of the elites. It means it needs fundings. So whoever will be coming in from there, pay your subscription fee. You should understand that there is a price, and that price means you will continue paying it for the rest of your life. And at any point, if you refuse to pay the subscription fee, you'll be given about 3 months. And after 3 months, if you still refuse, what happens? Your coins are returned back to the admin wallet. I want this to be very clear. The moment the core team is filled out, while we are filling out the backup core team, this will kick into action. Those will be coming in, new members. If you are not consistent, you have an allowance of 3 months, and then failure to comply, the coins are returned to the admin wallets. Another thing I should also make you understand, as a member in the community, after the core team has been filled out, is that you having 1 TBC coin will deal on 2 matters, which I've said before, but this is for emphasis. Number 1, you must bring in 1 merchant to the community and 2 members. So everybody that will be in the billionaire level from when the core team has been filled out will require a condition, and the condition is bring in 1 merchant, 2 members, 1 merchant, 2 members. And it is your responsibility as a billionaire to educate the merchant on the benefits of what he gains by exchanging his goods for grains of gold, even if it's at 10%. If you are not able to educate the merchant enough, then you have not completed the cycle. Now, completing the cycle means you have educated the merchant, you bring in your 2 recruits to the merchant, and then the merchant will do a transaction with those recruits. Transaction simply means he will exchange his goods or his services for what? In return for a particular grain of gold. Now, by that time, the administration has set up a system where you can convert your grains of gold to K-Love. You can convert your K-Love back to grains of gold. There will be some protocol, terms and conditions that will surround this particular thing I've said. But to be clear, as soon as the core team is filled out, difficulty will go by 1 step. Anybody that will be in the billionaire level should bring in 1 merchant, 2 members to get 1 TBC coin. So this is an opportunity to join the core team now and stay on the core team. It doesn't only apply to the billionaires, it will also apply to the millionaires. But then we are still filling out the billionaires, so no need of talking about the millionaire. Okay, so I think this is the major thing that I want us to understand. Now, another thing I also want us to understand is that for those of you who are out there and are busy deliberating and you're asking yourself so many questions, there was an article that was put out by the administration last week, Saturday, And he talked about it in our mass adoption meeting on Monday. He had said it again and again, and he demonstrated it, that it will be impossible for any whale to be able to crash the market, because honestly speaking, some whales have tremendous amount of K-Love or TBC coins, which is also going to be an equal match of K-Love. And if it is not carefully controlled, there is every tendency that they can crash the market in a single day. And those things has been put out to make sure that it doesn't happen. So you will enjoy a financial system through your K-Love debit card. And he has said it before that you are going to have at least $100 withdrawal every day. If you didn't understand it, refer back to that particular article that he put out last week. You will see a certain amount he put there. Divide that amount by 30 days. It's going to be 99.99, which is approximately $100. So you would have access to $100. I am referring to the 11,000 people, 11,111 people. Now, for the backup team, I think they will begin to make enjoyments from the month of February. But I think the administration will throw more light. The conditions that apply to the core team should also apply to the backup team. But the difference is that the core team will enjoy 100 TBC for the rest of the distribution phase of TBC. The backup team will enjoy 50 TBC for the rest of the distribution phase of the community. And from next year, the K-Love that will be given to you and the amount of K-Love debit card, sorry, given to you and the amount of K-Love you have will be easy for you to pay yearly subscription fee. It is the ultimate intent of the administration to see that there will be constant fundings coming from the community to keep the system running. So it's going to be easy for you as a core team member to pay your yearly subscription next year, not by struggling. It will be very simple. Just because you already have it there, okay? Just take out a certain amount and then use it to pay your subscription fee. And that's it. And then you can do other things. Now, another thing I should also make you understand is after you've gotten your equal match of K-Love and then you have your debit card, that's not the end of the story, okay? Because to whom more is given, more is expected. You are expected to make sure that you make some reasonable contribution to the TBC community. And some of those contribution is growing your downline to a reasonable number of people. I don't know how many people you intend growing, but I think by then you should be able to have 100, 200, 300 people paying their subscription fee. Why? Because you can go to YouTube, you can go to Facebook, and then show them that you can withdraw your K-Love, your K-Love coins into cash. And the moment that has been seen, proven again and again for the next 1, 2, 3 months, why wouldn't they register under you? Why wouldn't they want to take part in this opportunity? So this is the second edition of Wales Protocol. Now, the third edition is going to be merchants, and the nitty-gritties of how merchants will interact with members. I've talked about it in previous times, but there is what you call nitty-gritties, step-by-step process of why merchants are going to accept our coins, why merchants are going to, why members, clients of the merchants will be willing to make contributions in cash to get grains of gold. Of course, if you're a client, you can never have grains of gold if you're not a member in the community. So there is going to be a transition. All clients should become members of the community to enjoy grains of gold. And why they stand to benefit more, because it's a way of sustaining their value. I mean, their financial value. All these things we talked about possibly in our next episode. All right. On this note, I want to call this meeting to a close. So I'll quickly go back and see a few people. Now I've just spent about 34 minutes. And before I'll continue, this is now room for questions. If you are here and you want to ask your questions, Madam Flourish is here with me. And I think you can call her line. If you need to ask your questions, you can call her line. Or you can call my line. Or you can ask your questions on the chat section. Whichever one that is convenient by you. I want to answer your questions Between now and the next possibly 15-20 minutes, there is room to ask your questions. But if you think you're satisfied, you don't want to ask any questions, then I think we are good. Okay? All right, on that note, let me stop sharing my screen. Wow, this place is so dark. So, pardon me, I need to off my camera. Sometimes I feel so bad. I feel so bad because right from my childhood, my cradle, I've never been able to enjoy regular electric supply in Nigeria. I can't remember any time in my life that I have had constant electric supply for the past 1 week. And it is because of greed. The system has always, in fact, not the system, the leaders has always acted the way they've been acting, so that we, on the other end, are the ones that will suffer it. But in no distant time, everything will change because the Kringle Private Society are moving to the next level from next year. All right, so if there are any questions you have to ask your questions. Or if there are no other questions to ask, I think I'll call it quit for now. All right, so let me see the people that has made some contributions. Ojab Global Digital Assets. Hello, greetings. Greetings, our ambassador, my brother. I greet you. Well done. I greet you, my ambassador. I greet the entire house. Thank you very much. And good evening, everyone. Yeah, ransoming sounds. Greetings. And we can hear you loud and clear. Okay, that's fine. So I think for the next few minutes, there is still room for questions. If you have questions to ask, you can ask me those questions. If you don't have any other question, I think I'll call this meeting to a close. So I'm all ears. I don't know, brother Mitch, do you have any feedback? Or Madam Flourish, do you have something to ask or to say or something? Let me know, please. Okay, someone is asking. Now, this is Zephaniah. Zephaniah, greetings to everyone. And then Ransoming Sound says, what happens to one who doesn't pay his or her program fee for a while and his coins are returned to the admin's wallet but eventually resumes payment? It's actually a straightforward question. Now, to be very clear, please, I want this to be clear so that it doesn't create saga, because we've had a lot of saga in previous times. The people that are going to have their coins withdrawn are not old members. Please, let this be very clear. It is the new members that will be joining the community from when the core team is filled out. If you are an old member and then that particular thing takes full effect, the old members will be given a yield farm to cultivate, and that yield farm will be kind of equal to what the new members are going to face when their coins are withdrawn. The old members' coins will not be withdrawn, it will remain with them, but they are going to go about yield farming. Okay? And as the system gets more organized and then we grow, the system is going to continue making it a bit more difficult for people to have TBC coins. This is how the system will operate. It is only those that are willing to act to pay the price that will get the TBC. The first condition is bringing in one member, one merchant, two members. So if you are on the old member side and then you have God knows how many TBC, be ready to go into yield farming, and the yield farming must generate a sufficient amount of feedback to the system so that the system will say, okay, the person has worked for a while. I think the person now needs to be rewarded. And the reward means that possibly you are going to get an equal match of K-Love. But if you are not able to cultivate the yield farm to a reasonable extent, you may not qualify for the old members. For the new members, you have to pay the price by bringing in at least one merchant, two members, and then you get one whole TBC. The following month, when you pay your subscription fee, you want to get TBC, bring in at least one merchant, two members. When you pay your subscription fee, whether you are once you are a billionaire, you are supposed to pay your subscription fee for the rest of your life in the community. If you refuse to pay your subscription fee, then the one you have already gathered will be recycled back to the system. If you have paid your subscription fee once and you get one TBC coin, and the following month you don't do so, you are owing the system. Now you must pay the system, or else you may not be able to benefit. The system may even make it in such a way that if you are not regularly making commitments, you have to offset your previous payments so that you can get TBC. It's going to be very, very wonderful. So I hope I answered your question, brother Ransoming Sounds. Please, I need your feedback. Now let's move over to the next person. Now he said, now please, how will $100 per day be assessed? Purchase of goods from merchants or swapped to cash? We are moving out of anything that has to do with cash. Cash is the reason why the elites are in control. The administration has said we want to change the nature of money. And changing the nature of money is converting it from a cash based or a cashless system, because they are also moving into a cashless system. But now, under the control of the elites, we are also moving into a cashless system, but out of the control of the elites. That's what we are doing. And the determining factor are human beings. If human beings go along with us, good for us. And based on what has been put out, human beings will likely go along with us. So your $100 will not be assessed as cash. Your $100 will be assessed through your K-Love debit card. Now, if your merchant has a POS, of course, you know what a POS is, right? You can swap your K-Love debit card. And once you've swapped it, the merchant receives it as money. Possibly he receives an alert on his phone or wherever as cash. Okay? You use your K-Love debit card, you swipe it, do your transaction, the person receives it as cash. But provided you don't exceed your daily limit, there is what you call daily limits. And I think it's about $100 daily limits. So if you're able to access your daily limits, you can go to any restaurant, you can go anywhere, and then do your transaction with $100. Provided you don't exceed your daily limits, yes, you can play around. You can do whatsoever you like, okay? It's as simple as that. I hope I answered your question, brother Ike. I would need your feedback. Okay, so yes, sir. Thank you very much. All right. So if there is any other question anyone has to ask, you're free to ask. But if there are no questions, then I think we will bring this meeting to a close. So I'm all ears. I'm here at your service. So I think we have a few more minutes left. All right, I'm all ears and I'm waiting. All right, brother Ike says yes. Thank you very much. My pleasure, sir. So you mean we cannot swap for cash? I don't understand what you mean by swiping for cash. It's been very clear. I've said you can, the way you use your debit card is exactly how you use your K-Love debit card. The way you use your debit card is the same way you use your K-Love. The way you use your normal debit card is the way you use your K-Love debit card. And the idea of swapping for cash is you have your normal ATM card. You can go to any place, any small booth, whatever it is, and then you want to withdraw a certain amount. You can withdraw the money and the person gives you cash. This is just like cash. This is actually cash. The agreement with the administration and those organizations is that they will create an ATM card for us, and then there are policies that they will put out, which we are going to fulfill. So the K-Love debit card will be given to all of us to use for whatsoever we want. So of course you can swipe your money for cash. Okay, provided you don't exceed the daily limit, you can swipe it for cash. But the cash you are swiping for is a particular limit. You don't have enough. For instance, you want to buy a car worth $12,000. Your K-Love debit card will not benefit you. You have to go to the merchant and then negotiate with the merchant. You have to go to the merchant, negotiate with the merchant, and let the merchant see why he would accept grains of gold, even if it's at 20% in grains of gold, and then 80% in cash. You have to negotiate. That's the concept of a billionaire. A billionaire should negotiate. Negotiation power. That will be the next thing that will happen to you next year. If you don't have good negotiation power, you will not be able to do much with your K-Love debit card, with your God knows how many equal match you have. The idea of having those equal match is for you to negotiate with merchants. When you negotiate with merchants, convince them and let them see the advantage. If they don't see the advantage, you have not made any reasonable progress. This is the whole idea. All right. So I hope I passed on the message. Zephaniah Lawal, I need your feedback. Thank you. So we have a few more minutes left. Still waiting for feedbacks. If you have feedbacks, fine. If you don't, fine. Those of you who will sit down and say, I'm just going to enjoy withdrawing my $100 every day. I just enjoy withdrawing my $100 every day. And you are not giving feedback to the system. Listen, we are not 1 billion yet. By the time we're 1 billion, we'll have achieved an objective. And that objective is to tell the world that we can have our own medium of exchange out of the elite's control. So you will keep working until you get to 1 billion. So don't think that once you have gotten to your K-Love debit card, that that's the end of life. No, you must keep working. And there are different ways of working, not hard work, smart work. So please beware that there is going to be another level of contribution you will make to the system, and you will also enjoy a certain feedback from the system. On that said, I hope you understand. Now, I think it will take a while to wipe out the cash mentality from our heads, but it's all good. We'll get there. Very correct. And Brother Zephaniah has said yes, that he understood me very well. All right. So, is there any other person that wants to ask a question? You have a question, ask your question. You have no question, no problem. Well, I want this to be very clear that people must understand what we are doing. If you do not understand what you are doing, then you are walking in darkness. And when you're walking in darkness, there is every tendency that you will stumble. And when you stumble, you will fall. We don't want anyone to fall. We are looking out for each other. We are your brother's keeper. We are our brother's keeper. All right, so we have a few more minutes before I'll call this meeting to a close. If you have any question to ask, whatever you're not sure about, feel free to ask and I'll respond. Thank you. I'm waiting. Okay, so I don't think there is anyone that wants to ask any other question. It looks like everyone is satisfied. So on this note, let me go back to Brother Mechi. If there is anything he has to say, I think the floor is all yours, sir. Kindly give us feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. The network has been throwing me up and up continually. From all that you've said, one thing I like here is that we are not covering anything. We are always making it stand out that what we are telling people in TBC is just the right thing. And for them to know that TBC is not in any way part of the chaotic situation or system that you can just behave anyhow and then do anyhow with whatever you have. No, this is coordinated way of doing things. And for those who really understand it, they'll be glad. But for those that are yet to fall into it or to quickly grasp how it works, it's not just the best thing to say, okay, you work and then you do. No, because if you are willing to learn and really listen, I believe you see the benefits of understanding how Kringle community works. Okay? Remember, we have a target, and that target is not yet met. But admin, out of his own way, came up with this K-Love of a thing, and K-Love will continually help us to do what we are doing with ease. So people should not be afraid as to what is going to happen. I know that everybody's mind is pointed towards, hey, come January 12, I'll start using money, behaving anyhow, and then no. Billionaires don't even do that. Even if they has the billions at their disposal, they are still coordinated. They still do things the way it shows that they know what they're doing. So for all Tibicians, I wish you the best. And if you understand what we are doing here, I want you to open your mind and then know that come next year, you're going to have it big. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. And I really appreciate your feedback. God bless you. I want to actually say I appreciate your dedication to this our course. There are so many people that are in this course and they've not gotten a full understanding. But if you are following this program regularly, um, you will understand it very well. So do your part to just make yourself a regular audience, and then you will begin to see why you need to be in this community and then how you are going to benefit. You see, there is this thing I say. I'm not I'm not extremely wealthy. Neither is my brother Amechi extremely wealthy. But understand that the world is a magnet. Whatever you can believe from the bottom of your heart, you can achieve. And once you can say, I am going to be in this billionaire level, come what me, it's impossible for you to fall out because you believe it, you never doubt. You will see that the world will make it happen in your favor. Okay? So, thank you so much for those of us who have taken time to listen and has understood everything we've said. We'll be coming your way again some other time. Most likely, same time Saturday by 6 p.m. So, we'll come your way again some other time. God bless you. And I'll give a shout out to everyone who has made one or two contributions. Do well to tell your friends and loved ones so that they come around. Because as long as I'm concerned, this is the next financial system. This is what will save the elites, save the world from the control of the elites. It's not Bitcoin. It's not Binance. I'm saying this because I have deep understanding about TBC. And I'm saying it without apology. Okay? When people will understand that this system will bring an end to wars, this system will introduce abundance, this system will create equity, this system will end poverty, this system will end stealing. You see, this idea of stealing, I tell you, this system will end stealing. You can't rob me if I'm a member in the Kringle Private Society. You can't rob me. It sounds funny, but you will see it unfold. And when big men understand it, they would convert all their money into grains of gold. Of course, they won't be able to afford one TBC. That's exactly what will happen. So on this note, thank you very much. And I'll end by looking at Brother Ransoming Sound. It's been a while. It's been a wonderful time. Sorry. So I really appreciate. She will come your way again some other time. Cheers and God bless you. Bye for now.
Bye all.